Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Thompson of drlisamthompson.com, and in today's video, I want to share with you a huge tip that I learned from Ray Higdon, one of my good friends, mentors, top network marketing expert, on how to handle closes when you are bringing people in either as a customer or as a rep into your business. And the tip is called "Don't be optimistic in the close." And before I get into that, I want to explain to you a little bit about a movie, American Gangster, that really illustrates this point. So if you haven't seen American Gangster, it's really a good movie. It has Denzel Washington in it and Russell Crowe. And Denzel Washington's character is Frank Lucas. He was this gentleman who wound up rising up to being one of the biggest dealers of heroin in the New York, New Jersey area in the late 60s, early 70s. And Russell Crowe's character was the FBI agent who brought him down. But anyway, in this movie, Denzel's character, he wanted to build a business empire, but his product was heroin. And so eventually he wound up cornering the heroin market by offering a product that was almost 100% pure heroin. And I mean, he just blew his competitors out of the water. And he eventually grew his operation to the point where he brought in his family. And there was a pivotal scene in the movie where he brings his, I believe it was either his brother or his very close cousin, who became his number 2 man. And they were going to a club, and his cousin or brother Huey comes in, and Frank sees his brother or his number 2 guy there, and he is dressed very flamboyantly. I mean, he is like in the biggest, the flashiest suit. He's got bling on his, rings on his fingers. He's got a huge gold chain around his neck. And it really angered Frank. And Frank pulls him into a coat room. And he says, "I want you to go and change your clothes." Because he said the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room. The loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room. Now you're probably thinking, well, what does this scene in the movie have to do with closing sales? Well, what happens a lot of times is when you have someone who's about to join or is going to join, they wind up, you can always tell if somebody is, they're going to join you in your team and they're going to say, "Oh, I'm going to hit top rank. I'm going to bring in, making 6 figures. Let's do this." And they're really talking up a big game. And what Ray discovered over the years is when you have people who are talking that big of a game, they're the loudest one in the room. And the loudest one in the room is often the weakest. And they are not going to do anything. And if they do anything, they're going to complain. And what Ray found is that the top earners, the ones that really produced on his team, they let their actions do the talking. They didn't do a lot of talking. They just went in and did the work. So a lot of times in the close, people are going to come up and ask you questions like, how soon am I going to get a result? How quickly am I going to be successful? Because remember, there's always 3 questions that are coming up in a person's head. Does it work? Will it work for me? And can I do it? And so they're going to be asking you these questions because they want to know, how soon am I going to get my money back? And people are addicted to the quick fix. And one of the big mistakes I used to make was, you would try to tell the story of someone who achieved results and big results in a shorter time frame. Okay, like someone, this person came in and she did it for, made 6 figures in 30 days, made her first, $10,000 month. And Ray said that's the worst thing, because what you're doing now is that they are now on a time clock. And they're going to be like, okay, they're going to be counting down. And if they don't see any results by 30 days, by day 31, they're out. And what you want is you want people in there, excuse me, who are going to produce, who are going to stay. And so when you get questions as how long is it going to take before I achieve success, Ray said, pose this question to them. What if it took you 5 years? Now, a lot of people would be like, oh my gosh, now you just killed the sale. No, you haven't. Because think about it this way. How often, when people go to school, they go to school for what? 4 to 5 years to learn a skill. And then they know they have to put in the time and learn before they go and they can go out and get that career. So the same thing is happening here. What if it does take you 5 years? It's a very telling question. And so if they're, and then they're going to be like, hey, I'm walking out. Sorry, not for me. And guess what? Let them go. Because better for them to let, now where they're at. You can also say things, if they keep going, well, why 5 years? You can also share stories. What are some stories from your organization of people who worked it for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and finally had success? Okay? What would it mean if you put in that work? Okay? Because one of the things about network marketing is that, you can really, if you put in the work and the effort, okay, and you focus on developing your skills, becoming the best version of you possible, what's going to happen is that your income will improve over time. That's what happens. There's no such thing as a quick fix. And when you see people having those instant results, those big $10,000 months after they join, you don't know the whole backstory to what happened with them. Okay? They might have been struggling for years, and all of a sudden they built a really good team, and the other company they were in, they may have went under, and they just found another home for them and their team. And that's why they wound up getting that big, hitting that real big number and that rank right off the bat. So you have to be realistic when you're doing the close, all right? Especially when you're bringing people in to be a rep in your business. Don't sit there and promise a fast result, because it reflects badly on you, and it's not going to help them. So that was a real big takeaway I learned from Ray, and it really helped me in terms of building my team and getting more sales, is when you started being realistic with the close. So there you have it, my friends. I hope you got value today. If you did, leave a comment and share. And if you're not on my newsletter, go to workwithdrlisathompson.com, put in your best email address, and every day I'll start sending to your email box my latest tips, strategies, and mindset that will help you grow a full-time income while only working part-time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.